Hello and welcome to Spectrum News at 4. I am Xavier Robert, coming to you live from the beautiful hills of Ibiakuran. Let's take a look at the headlines. Vice President Osibanjo declares Nigeria endowed enough to be foremost black nation on earth. JAMB releases UTME mock results. Ukraine President Zelensky accuses Russia of readying thousands for Eastern battle. Details of these stories and more in a moment. We begin the news with a report that President Muhammadu Buhari has condoled with the Katsina Emirate Council, government and people of Katsina State, following the demise of Sakin Sulubawa, the district head of Kaita Abdul Karim Usman. The president's condolences were conveyed by a delegation led by the Minister of Aviation, Senator Hadi Sirika. Reports say the deceased is the younger brother of the reigning Emir of Katsina, Abdul Mumini Usman, and the older brother of the Director of Finance and Accounts, State House, Abuja, Kabiru Hassan. Away from that, Vice President Osibanjo says Nigeria is blessed with the resources to be the foremost black nation on earth. Osibanjo stated this in his declaration speech to contest the 2023 presidential election. He therefore urged the citizens to birth the expectations of greatness that were conceived by the founding fathers. The Vice President said it would be a collective responsibility to build a country where all citizens were treated fairly, justly, and with respect.
These experiences, these insights, and these opportunities is that they must be put to the use of our country and its great peoples, which is why I am today, with utmost humility, formally declaring my intention to run for the office of the President of the Federal.
In a separate development, federal government says more than 500 megawatts of electricity are expected from mini grids from interconnected grids developed by the Rural Electrification Agency. Special Advisor to the President on Infrastructure, Ahmed Zakari, announced this in a series of tweets via his official Twitter handle. Zakari said the agency had been spending billions of naira on renewable energy and mini grids. Commenting on the collapse of Nigeria's power grid, which occurred over the weekend, Zakari blamed it on sabotage. In education, the federal government has accused the Academic Staff Union of Universities of selfishness over the prolonged strike embarked upon by the union. Minister of State for Education Emeka Nwajuba stated this in an interview with Newsman. He also took a swipe at the Joint Action Committee of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities and the Non-Academic Staff Union of Education and Associated Institutions for going on strike. It could be recalled that the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, the Non-Academic Staff Union of Education and Associated Institutions had 2 weeks ago began a 2-week warning strike over payment of earned allowances. Still in education, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has released the results of the 2022 Mock Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination conducted on April 9. JAMB made this known in the weekly bulletin of the office of its registrar in Abuja. The board advised candidates who sat for the examination to visit www.jamb.gov.ng and click on 2022 mock result checking and input their UTME registration number to access their results. Reports say no less than 175,000 candidates sat for the examination across JAMB's 757 centers nationwide. Meanwhile, the list of successful candidates who applied for the ongoing recruitment into the Nigeria police force and attended the physical and credential screening has been released. The force confirmed this in an update on its recruitment website. It advised those qualified for the next stage to print their computer-based test CBT examination slip. Away from that, leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has petitioned the United Nations Security Council to establish an independent commission to investigate the alleged complicity of Nigerian and Kenyan government officials in his detention. Kanu's foreign lawyer, Bruce Fein, made this known in a letter addressed to the United Kingdom ambassador to the United Nations and President of the United Nations Security Council, Barbara Woodward. The petition urged the United Nations Security Council, acting under Chapter 7 of the United Nations Charter, to pass a resolution establishing an international independent investigation commission to establish criminal responsibility for Nnamdi Kanu's kidnapping, torture, and extraordinary rendition from Nairobi, Kenya, to Abuja. The petition also called for the resolution to establish a special tribunal to prosecute persons the Commission considers to be responsible for Nnamdi Kanu's alleged kidnapping, torture, extraordinary rendition, and arbitrary detention. In a separate development, United Nations Humanitarian Coordinator for Nigeria, Matthias Schmel, says over 4 million Nigerians in the northeast region are expected to face food insecurity in the approaching season. Schmel said this at an advocacy event held in Abuja on food security and nutrition in northeast Nigeria. Schmel noted that a total of 8.4 million Nigerians will need humanitarian support in the northeast. He said up to $351 million is needed to provide humanitarian support for people in northeastern Nigeria. Elsewhere, terrorists who attacked an Abuja-Kaduna train and killed 8 people have released fresh hostage video showing their victims in an unidentified location suspected to be a forest. The masked terrorists wore military uniforms and stood behind the abductees in the video. Reports say Chief Executive Officer of Nigeria's Bank of Agriculture, Alwan Ali Hassan, who was recently released, was flanked by other abductees in the new video. Some of the captives were seen calling on the government to come to their rescue. Back here, Akwa Ibom State Governor Dome Emmanuel has expressed satisfaction at the pace of work at the various projects at the Victor Otta International Airport. Governor Emmanuel said this while inspecting some ongoing projects at the Victor Otta International Airport. The governor, who assured that some of the projects like the terminal building and taxiway would be completed and inaugurated soon, stressed that plans are underway to train about 100 persons from the state in various aviation skills for the nascent aviation sector of the state economy, as part of the deliberate plans of the state government in developing indigenous manpower for the state's aviation sector, especially in aeronautics. At the Maintenance, Repair and Overhaul MRO facility, the governor said construction work at the facility has reached about 84% completion. He maintained that the investments of the state government was a total approach to aviation development, which would put the state in the aviation map of the world and generate foreign exchange for the state. In Africa, Gambia's Independent Electoral Commission says President Adama Barrow's National People's Party won 19 of the 53 parliamentary seats at the just concluded elections. The win is said to mean that the United Democratic Party will have to seek for a coalition to govern the 58-seat chamber. The president will also have to appoint 5 additional lawmakers from his own party in the next few days, including the Speaker of the House. Recall that President Barrow took power in 2017 and was re-elected last December, ending over 2 decades of dictatorship under Yahya Jammeh. Meanwhile, the new parliament is due to be sworn in on April 14. Still in Africa, over 1,000 Tunisians have rallied in the capital Tunis, calling for an end to what they described as an ongoing power grab from President Kais Saied. The protest was organized by citizens against the coup, along with the Islamic-inspired Ennahda party, which has dominated Tunisia's post-revolution politics and the recent dissolved parliament. Recall that President Kais Saied, who was elected in 2019, had seized full powers by dismissing his prime minister and suspending the parliament, a move many have condemned as anti-democracy. Elsewhere, Jacob Zuma of South Africa has continued his bid to remove the lead prosecutor from the highly anticipated corruption trial against the former South African president, which commenced today. Zuma, who faces multiple charges of fraud, racketeering and money laundering relating to a $2 billion 1990s arms deal with several European companies, is being charged alongside French company Thales. Last month, the Supreme Court of Appeal, SCA, rejected Zuma's application to have prosecutor Billy Downer taken off the case on the grounds that there was no reasonable prospect of success and there was no other compelling reason why an appeal should be heard. Recall that Downer was accused of bias and leaking confidential information to a journalist in contravention of the National Prosecution Act, among other complaints. Still to come in the news. NBA chairman Tannenbaum joins Pagliuca's bid ahead of Thursday's final deadline for Chelsea takeover. Do stay with us. Many thanks for staying tuned. Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky says Russia is concentrating tens of thousands of soldiers for its next offensive in eastern Ukraine. Zelensky told lawmakers in South Korea that his country needed more help if they were to survive the war. Meanwhile, President Zelensky says Ukraine is ready for a major Russian offensive in the east of the country. This comes as Zelensky has accused Moscow of lying to deflect the blame for the war. Ukraine's foreign minister said it would be difficult to think about negotiations with Russia following the atrocities committed in the town of Bucha and at the train station. Meanwhile, Russia has appointed a new general to direct the war after troops failed to take Kyiv. On our business news, operators in the insurance and pension sectors have been urged to provide enhanced services to the customers and quickly resolve their complaints to ensure growth and confidence in the sectors. The advice was made during the 6th Business Today conference in Lagos. Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, African Alliance Insurance PLC, Joyce Ojemudia, said it was critical to give customer quality experience in today's insurance and pensions businesses. Ojemudia, who stressed that maintaining trust is very fundamental to today's business environment, added that a solid customer service is imperative to achieve this. Meanwhile, Alliance Nigeria has introduced a new family protection plan to provide payment for funeral expenses following the loss of an insured loved one. The firm disclosed this during an event in Lagos, noting that it had secured approval for the product from the National Insurance Commission. Unveiling the product, the firm said the new product was the outcome of months of extensive market research into the current and prospective customer demands in the local market, especially in the wake of gradual recovery from the global disruption of COVID-19. In health, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control has alerted the public that Continental Meals is recalling a single lot of great value buttermilk pancake and waffle mix due to potential foreign material contamination. NAFDAC Director General Professor Moji Adeyeye, who gave the advice, said the affected products were distributed nationwide in the United States of America, where consumers purchased the product from retail Walmart stores. She also disclosed that fragments from a cable used to clear the processing line were discovered in a limited amount of product. According to her, no contaminated product has been reported by consumers to date, and no injuries have been reported to date. The Director General, on behalf of NAFDAC, implored importers, distributors, retailers, healthcare providers, and consumers to exercise caution in the importation, distribution, sale, and use of the recalled products. In sports, the chairman of the National Basketball Association, Larry Tannenbaum, has joined one of the consortia preparing to table final takeover bids for Chelsea this week. Reports say Tannenbaum, who owns a host of North American sports teams, is among the investors backing Steve Pagluica's offer for the Stamford Bridge club. Still in sports, Insurance FC of Benin has maintained its hold on the second position of the Nigerian National League (NNL) after a 2-1 victory over Giant Brillies FC of Enugu in Benin City. The Benin club are campaigning in Group B1 of the NNL with 21 points behind table toppers Gateway United. Reports say first half stoppage time penalty by Tanimu Benjamin and an own goal in the 67th minute ensured Bendel Insurance picked maximum points. Meanwhile, Idoko Matthew scored the visitors' consolation goal in the 86th minute with a shot from the edge of the 18-yard box. And on our entertainment news, Nigerian singer Oluwatosin Ajibade, known better as Mr. Easy, has proposed to his long-term girlfriend, Temi Otedola. Temi, who is an actress and blogger, is the daughter of Nigerian billionaire Femi Otedola and a younger sister to DJ Copy and Tolani Otedola. The actress, who made her Nollywood debut in 2020 in Citation by Kunle Afolayan, shared the news on her Twitter handle. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtv.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 4. My name is Xavier Robert. Do enjoy the rest of your day.